Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. I'm Randi Thompson, sitting in for Sam Shad. Today we're going to be talking to Chris Anderson, who's the CEO of DJ&A Engineering, and Trey Abney, who's the State Director for NFIB, talking about small business and tax issues. Coming up on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
It's the $200,000 Cars and Cash giveaways at Carson Valley Inn. Cash and prize drawings Thursdays and Saturdays. Plus, win a 2023 Ford F-150 or we'll pay you cash instead. Don't miss your chance to play and win. Cars and Cash at the Carson Valley Inn.
Save money and take transit. Did you know you can ride the bus all day for less than what it would cost you for a gallon of gas? Plan your trip now by going to rtcwashoe.com.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
Merry Christmas from everybody at the Winnemucca Big R.
Merry Christmas from Big R Lovelock.
Merry Christmas from the Fallon Big R.
Merry Christmas from Big R Fernley.
Merry Christmas from all of us at Big R Sparks.
Merry Christmas and a whole lot more.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And we're back on Nevada Newsmakers, and we're talking with Chris Anderson, the CEO of DJ&A Engineering, and also Trey Abney from State Director for NFIB. Glad to have you guys here. So, Chris, I'm going to start with you. So, even though you're headquartered in Montana, and thank you for joining us today, your first time on Nevada Newsmakers. You have offices in Reno, and I understand that you're doing a lot of work in Nevada. Can you kind of talk through some of the projects you're working on, but also what does a civil engineering firm do?
Yeah, you know, my wife asks me that question all the time, but civil engineers are kind of the magic makers behind the scenes that really make our lives enjoyable. We add to the quality of life. We design roads and bridges to get from point A to B. We design water and sewer systems. So we play a vital role in developing infrastructure for improving the quality of life. And we're actually working on a really interesting infrastructure project just west of downtown Las Vegas, in Clark County there. This is in Red Rock Canyon in partnership with Clark Canyon and Clark County and the BLM. We're actually designing over 20 miles of recreational trail for cyclists, for hikers. It'll be a fantastic project, and the total cost on that will be over $100 million. So tremendous investment in Clark County and in the Las Vegas area. So really excited about that one.
Well, very cool. Thank you for that. I now understand what civil engineers do. So you wrote an opinion piece in the Reno Gazette-Journal about a change in the federal tax code that could hurt engineering companies as well as similar pass-through companies. And why don't you explain? I guess there was a change in the 2017 Tax Act that kind of impacts you guys. Why don't you explain that to me?
Yeah, you bet. So in 2017, as part of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, a provision was included that beginning in 2022, companies that engage in research and development activities would have to capitalize and amortize those expenses rather than just be able to expense them in the year in which they're created, which creates a significant tax burden for companies, both large and small. But the effects are amplified for small businesses because we don't carry large cash balances to help offset those taxes. So we're essentially prepaying our taxes over a 5-year period of time, and we just don't have the ability to do that. So so we see it as really kind of an attack on those companies that are engaging in innovation and research and development. And so it's a big problem.
So I don't think of research and development in engineering. How does that work? What is the kind of the research you guys are doing? What is making you guys more innovative?
Yeah, great question. So we are trying to solve problems old and new. And in that process, we have to innovate. We have to look for ways to apply new technologies, to apply new materials when we're building a new bridge and need to reduce the cost of that bridge or reduce the weight of that bridge. We're looking for innovative solutions to create better and more resilient infrastructure for our country. And that's the innovative process. That's what we engage in on a daily basis.
So I have Trey here, who's State Director for NFIB. So Trey, this isn't just an engineering issue. I mean, a lot of companies are impacted by this tax change.
Well, that's exactly right. Any company that does R&D, right, and that includes a lot of small businesses. In fact, I would submit to you it's mostly small businesses that this impacts. And so, you know, Congress, you know, when they pass these tax bills, they're cute about it, right? Because they have to meet deficit numbers, and they, you know, each tax cut will cost X amount to the federal government, because tax cut costs the government, which, you know, makes me cry. But the point is, so they always put deadlines on it, or they tweak one tax provision so they bring in enough money so they can, you know, pass a more popular tax provision. And so it's just a mess. If they would just decide to make a tax code that is business and employer friendly, to allow employers to put food on people's tables, instead of forcing them to amortize like we've just talked about. And as you know, with inflation the way it is, the dollar is going to be much more expensive tomorrow than it is today. And so this costs businesses a lot of money. And you know, Chris's company is a good example of that. But to your point, this is any firm that engages in R&D, which, you know, moves our society forward when they do that, right?
So Chris, part of the frustration I have as a lobbyist for small business over the years is that legislators and congressional members don't really understand what it takes to plan a business, what you go through to look out 2 years, 5 years, even 10 years. So how is this tax code change impacting your business planning?
Yeah, and I think that's a great question. You know, it's really impacting it in two ways. One is just what you mentioned, the ability to plan. You know, if we are under the duress of major tax implications, we can't take that money and invest it in our company, invest it in our growth. We have to pay our tax bills first. And that is an anti-growth policy. We have no plans to grow this next year simply because we don't have the cash to do it. All of that cash is tied up in basically prepaying the benefit that has been amortized over 5 years. So it's having a suffocating effect on our ability to grow.
And it sounds like it's a Protect the CPA Act. This is going to keep accountants very busy, but makes it harder for you to plan. So Trey, it seems like manufacturing is probably really hitting by this. And we have a lot of manufacturing in Nevada. We're trying to diversify our economy and attract more manufacturing. But this is going to be hurting manufacturing, technology firms here in Nevada,
That's
too.
right, and as, you know, especially in northern Nevada, we've been very successful in diversifying our economy, you know, away from such a gaming-centric one to one, again, with manufacturing, with R&D companies, and that has helped, you know, drive our average wages up here and have a better quality of life for everyone involved. And, you know, at the same time, you know, COVID showed us some of certainly the downsides of offshoring certain pieces of our supply chain in many critical areas. And so as we onshore more manufacturing and kind of complete our supply chains over here, a tax proposal, a tax law like this certainly isn't helpful. So if the president and Congress is serious about onshoring and bringing back more manufacturing jobs, this would certainly be a piece that would help do that.
Interesting. All right, we're going to continue this discussion. We'll be right back right after this.
For 50 years, Nevada Heating has been keeping people comfortable in their homes. At Nevada Heating, call the Do It Right guys and get the heat back on today. Call us today and we'll fix it today. That's the Nevada Heating way. Why freeze for days on end when Nevada Heating can get your furnace fixed today? Call us today and we'll fix it today at 323-5585 or schedule us on our website at nevadaheating.com.
Snorkel personnel lifts are engineered beyond the industry norm to an uncommon level of safety and durability, and with an eye towards sustainability. They're also designed to be simple to operate and maintain. Snorkel, always at the cutting edge of progress.
Retail's impact on Nevada's economy? Enormous. 8,600 businesses, large and small, employing 145,000 workers. And last fiscal year, retail paid tax on nearly $60 billion in sales. We're the Retail Association of Nevada. We support retail, we help it grow, and we mean business.
RANNV.org.
Pro Group Management specializes in providing industries with the necessary components to satisfy and exceed workers' comp requirements. Every business has unique needs and specific regulations. Pro Group Management stays ahead of the curve, providing up-to-date services to keep your industry in top form. Discover how we simplify your tasks, improve efficiency, and reduce expense to keep you moving in a positive direction. Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
7 at 7 is a newscast built for your smartphone. It's a 7-minute newscast available every weekday at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. at lvrj.com. We don't waste your time, and we give you the day's top stories.
We at the RJ have noticed some similarities between us and a certain BTS character, RJ.
Plus the latest in Las Vegas business, weather, health, and entertainment news. 7 at 7 streaming now on your smartphone.
'Tis the season for the Holiday Cash Express at Tamarack Casino. We're trimming the tree with weekly cash giveaways, including a $5,000 winner every Saturday, plus $70,000 in grand prize stocking stuffers, including two $15,000 Holiday Cash winners guaranteed. It's a good time to win at Tamarack Casino.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And we're back on Nevada Newsmakers, and we're talking about research and development tax credits, which sounds like a really boring thing, I know, but it's critical when it comes to business planning, and engineering firms specifically in this situation are really impacted by this tax change. So Chris, talk a little bit about how engineering firms are facing global competition and how this tax break is not really helping you at all to remain competitive.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think we're a little bit confused in the industry. We're getting mixed signals from Congress. We see them pass trillion-dollar infrastructure plans. They want to invest in our nation's infrastructure, and at the same time, they're penalizing companies like ours for innovating and investing in ways to make that infrastructure better. So, it's hurting us nationally. Absolutely, it's stagnating our ability to innovate and create. And on a global measure, it's terrible. We are becoming one of the least competitive nations from an R&D standpoint. If you compare us to China and other countries that are incentivizing R&D, we're doing just the opposite. We're disincentivizing companies from engaging in this type of activity. So it's something that needs to be remedied, and remedied quickly.
And are you seeing the same thing here with like international competition in manufacturing too, Trey? I mean, we've got so much competition, like you just said, onshoring some of the pharmaceutical stuff specifically, and we're seeing more pharmaceutical manufacturing in Nevada as well.
That's right. I mean, pharmaceutical, critical minerals, like all of the things that we've talked about, that we don't want to depend on China, Russia, and other areas of the globe as things heat up all over, it seems. And so anything we can do, I mean, Congress needs to create a big tax package that includes this and others that's permanent, so businesses can not just plan 5 or 10 years, but 10 to 15 to 20, and then at the same time stop spending so much money, because that also increases inflation, which then causes the rest of its problems as well. Not only is Chris's company probably spending more on everything that they have to buy, goods and services, but now they have to spend on this tax proposal as well. So Congress and the President certainly have not been helpful in this area at all.
Well, and I see it really impacting Nevada as we move into lithium mining and the research and development that's going into how to mine more safely and cleanly, and that takes a lot of R&D. So I imagine even mining companies are going to really be impacted by something like this.
That's exactly right. I mean, this impacts Nevada certainly. It impacts everybody in every state, but Nevada probably critically. because of everything going on here.
Yeah. So, Chris, is there a remedy to this, or what is the remedy to this?
Yeah, there's a lot being discussed right now, and unfortunately, we're not seeing the action that we're hoping for. But there are a couple of bills out there. There's Senate Bill 866 that I believe has 41 co-sponsors as of this morning. That's something I'm checking daily anymore. But there's also a House Resolution 2673 that has nearly 200 co-sponsors. So people are getting this issue. And I might add that on those co-sponsors, that is an equal split between Democrats and Republicans. So this is not a red and blue issue. I mean, this is an issue that is understood by both sides of the aisle. We saw some early leadership by Senators Cortez Masto and Rosen. They've done a great job. They signed on to that Senate bill early as co-sponsors. So certainly appreciate their leadership there. Representatives Lee and Titus have also co-sponsored the bill here in Nevada. So we're looking for additional representatives to sign on to that House bill and move this forward. But time is of the essence. We're looking for a fix, and we need to fix it soon.
Well, one of the problems here, Randy, I think I read just this morning, this has been one of the most unproductive sessions of Congress we've had in decades. I think, don't quote me on this, I think they passed like 27 bills, 27 total this year. And of course, the bigger problem is, besides the fact that they can't seem to keep a speaker more than a couple of weeks at a time in the House, that they lurch from crisis to crisis. They lurch from government shutdown to debt ceiling to Ukraine, Israel aid, to all of these things. And while they're spending all these time on things, which are important things, don't get me wrong, but all this other stuff tends to go by the wayside. And I think the best chance you'll have of getting something like this is by putting it into some must-pass, piece of legislation that has to go out the door, because they're not going to spend time on something like this when it doesn't make headlines that the rest of it does. So I mean, it's the whole Congress is just, the process is a mess.
It is,
and this is going to be a victim of it.
Yeah, and it's hurting small business, it's hurting large business, and it's hurting our nation's economy. It really is. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back after this.
Truck drivers are some of the hardest working people you'll meet, delivering over 70% of America's freight and 92% of Nevada's. When there's a natural disaster, they're delivering critical supplies to help those communities recover and rebuild. Every sector of the economy and our nation's military rely on truck drivers. So let's take a moment to say thank you. On the open road or city streets, our truck drivers are rolling to make our economy and our nation stronger. Trucking moves America forward.
What do you count on? You count on your power every day. At NV Energy, we've always powered what's important to you, but we're not looking at the past. We're focused on the future. While our standards are high, our rates will remain low. And our commitment to renewables isn't just meeting standards, but leading the way. Because you can count on more than just your power. You can count on the company who brings it to you. That's our promise. You can count on it.
The casino industry drove Nevada's economy for decades. By the 1990s, however, the state's sole industry was in sharp decline. Many were losing their homes, many were leaving the state. Is Reno on track to be the Detroit of the West? Was an October 2010 Reno Gazette-Journal headline. Nevada knew it was time for a change and a time to diversify. Story County took that lead, took risks, invested tens of millions transforming its desert into a place of opportunity and a future for Nevada families needing something new. That desert now provides thousands of high-paying tech, advanced manufacturing, and energy careers at companies like Tesla, Panasonic, Google, Switch, and Redwood Materials. Story County transformed Northern Nevada forever, and the tide of opportunity has raised all vessels through construction contracts, high-paying careers, and the power of payroll. Tens of millions have been generated in sales and property tax, permits, and other revenues for Reno, Sparks, Washoe County, and for all of Nevada. Enough, in fact, to generate a surplus after public services are provided. And best of all, a sustainable economic climate has been created, enabling our children to stay in Nevada and live prosperous lives in their home state. Story County, improving Northern Nevada one industry at a time.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. we recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to caanv.org.
Big R in Sparks is located on Bering Boulevard next to Smith's and across from Reed High School. It's a 50,000 square foot clothing store and a whole lot more. For the cold days ahead, jackets, hoodies, flannel shirts, insulated bib overalls, thermal underwear, beanies, and merino wool socks. Big R. Hardware, clothing, and a whole lot more.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And we're back on Nevada Newsmakers talking about taxes and small business. So, Trey, how are Nevadan business owners feeling these days, and how are American business owners feeling these days?
I would say they're struggling. I don't want to use the word malaise, but the National NFIB puts, every month they do a survey, and they reach out to their membership, decide, where they are, how are they feeling, and it has been below average for the past, couple years as far as the average score. How good do you feel running your business? And I mean, it's not going to be a surprise to anybody watching because we're all dealing with it, but it's inflation, right? They're paying more for everything, which we talked about earlier. They're having a hard time not only finding employees, even though there's so many more job openings than there are employees to fill them. Yeah. So they're having a hard time finding employees. Once they find those employees, they'll leave. If they do show up for their first day at all, and finding qualified employees, and credit is tightening. And we interest rates have gone up. I don't know if you have noticed, but interest rates have gone up.
I know I'm not going to buy a house anytime soon.
Yes,
yeah,
that's right. The past little bit, and so all of those things together really affect a small business owner. And when you're talking small business, more than likely when you walk in there, the person you're talking to behind the counter is that small business owner, right? And so they're trying to find the time not only to keep the store open and keep people employed, but then they have to take their time after the doors close and figure out all the paperwork and everything that goes on. They don't have big HR departments and legal departments and big tax departments to figure out all the new tax implications that Chris has been talking about. So it's a struggle right now, and small businesses feel it acutely.
So on my way over here today, I stopped by our small business. We own 3D Keepsake Imaging, which is a prenatal imaging center in South Reno, and I picked up the deposit and I finished the heartbeat bear order, and I checked voicemail messages. So that's what you do when you're a small business owner, and it is a struggle. And I'm continually looking for staff, so I totally concur with you. Chris, what are the challenges that you're seeing in the engineering world? I mean, come on, Congress loves infrastructure, don't they?
Yeah, they've told us that much. I think we're dealing with the same issues that Trey outlined. Obviously, a labor shortage, trying to find qualified candidates that are willing to stay for the long term. That's a challenge. This is the tightest labor market we've ever experienced, for sure. People wanting to buy a home, moving to a community where they can have a great quality of life. That's one of the reasons why we have an office in Reno is people want to live there. People want to go there. It's a growing community. So, but it's hard to meet those demands. It's hard to, address those challenges when we have a broken tax system, when we have inflation on the rise. It makes it very challenging for small businesses, as you mentioned, Randy, to operate in this environment. So, anything that we can do to abate the short-term issues will help us long-term, and we're very optimistic about the long-term outlook. We're very optimistic that over the next 10 years we'll see some of our greatest opportunities here as a country, and we just need things to align for that to happen, and lawmakers need to make sure that happens. So.
Yep. So Trey's a member of NFIB. He's the state director for NFIB, which is a great national organization. You're also a member of the American Council of Engineering Companies, and they're very active in this tax issue. Do you think we can get something passed? Obviously not before Christmas, but do you think that you guys have the clout to get something passed in the next coming few months?
I think we do, and part of it is I believe that people are starting to understand this issue. Our lawmakers are, and so I'm optimistic that something's going to happen here in the next month or two. We were hoping for an early Christmas present, but that's not going to happen. So, yeah, we're very optimistic that lawmakers will see this issue for what it is. It's bad policy. It's bad for our economy. And again, lawmakers from both sides of the aisle are coming together on this issue. So you don't see that happen very often. And when you do see it, I think it's a cause for optimism.
Okay, well, we're going to encourage the Nevada delegation to support Senate Bill 866 or HR 2673. Little lobbying here, but we need this to help all Nevada businesses grow and prosper. So thank you guys for both being on here. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll be back right after this.
'Tis the season for the Holiday Cash Express at Tamarack Casino. We're trimming the tree with weekly cash giveaways, including a $5,000 winner every Saturday, plus $70,000 in grand prize stocking stuffers, including two $15,000 Holiday Cash winners guaranteed. It's a good time to win at Tamarack Casino.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
Everyone is talking about opioids, but they're not the only drugs that can be harmful if taken in large quantities or not as prescribed. You also need to be aware of side effects from anxiety drugs, muscle relaxants, sleep aids, and stimulants. Mixing prescription drugs with other drugs or alcohol can be dangerous. If you take an Ambien with a glass of wine, it may be enough to stop you from breathing. Prescribed drugs can be just as dangerous as illegal drugs. Take medications only as directed.
Southwest Specialties has been making the homes and businesses of Nevada beautiful for more than 20 years. Their experienced designers and craftsmen create the walkways, backyards, water features, and a variety of outdoor cooking areas that add curb appeal and value to your investment. Call today or visit them at their website and see how they can make your outdoor spaces special. Southwest Specialties, creative, distinctive, beautiful. Brian Culpa Photography was born in the rolling hills of Massachusetts, and now he can help you experience the stunning beauty of Nevada in a whole new way through the power of flight. Flying has always been a passion for Brian, and at Brian Culpa Photography, he can make your imagination soar. Brian has the creative mind and tools to tell your unique story. Experience the bird's eye view at brianculpaphotography.com.
Modern boutique Ahern Hotel and Event Center sits at the heart of the Las Vegas Strip. 2 floors of meeting and event space are ideal for groups and conventions. Stay in one of 200 luxurious rooms and suites. Brand your event throughout the property. Flexible event spaces make for easy planning and personalization. Take over the entire hotel with a full buyout option.
Thank you for watching and listening. You can watch us anytime at NevadaNewsmakers.com. Thanks a lot.